LSU will welcome back its 3 national championship quarterbacks to Tiger Stadium on Saturday night as the trio Warren Rabb, Matt Mauck, and Matt Flynn, who all have a signed football right here on this desk.
Nathan, show the ball.
On OTB, we led off our video intro this morning with the ball signed by all 3 national championship winning quarterbacks. All 3 of those guys going to serve as honorary guest captains for the Florida game. Kickoff for the 5th-ranked Tigers and 7th-ranked Gators is set for 7 o'clock in a sold-out Tiger Stadium that will be televised to a national audience on ESPN with College Game Day serving as the background in Baton Rouge all day on Saturday. Ed Orgeron going through the media car wash on Wednesday. It started at the teleconference yesterday morning. Here he is talking about maintaining balance offensively.
Yes, sir. We want to be 50-50, obviously, and run passes, the numbers of runs and the number of passes. And Steve's done a tremendous job of calling. Now, sometimes we may run the football to open up the pass. Sometimes we may pass the football to open up the run. It all depends what the defense is giving us.
Orgeron last night at TJ Ribbs talking about this Gator defense coming into Baton Rouge.
Fast, tenacious, well-coached, great athletes. They love to rush the passer. They have great technique. Todd Grantham is a friend of mine. I've known him for a long time. He's been a defensive line coach in the pros. Now he's their defensive coordinator. I think they had 11 or 12 sacks versus Miami, Florida. They're very quick on him. But you know what? They gave us some problems last year. So we have a scheme. We have 2 or 3 schemes that we think that's going to help us this year to enable us to get the ball off and to protect Joe.
10 sacks for the Florida defense versus Miami in the opener. Here is Orgeron talking about the signal caller for the Gators, Kyle Trask.
We got to put some pressure on it. We got to win our one-on-one blocks. We got to be able to rush forward and play coverage, play tight coverage, make them throw the ball in front of us and tackle in space. The one thing Florida has done, they have had 8 or 9 fumbles in the last couple of games, and they do give up the football. We got to be very opportunistic. We need to get the football away from this quarterback and cause some turnovers.
Yes, we talked yesterday about how important this game is going to be for K'Lavon Chaisson, Jordy, and it's just the deeper you go, the more clear it becomes. In Kyle Trask, you have a quarterback that was not mobile to begin with and will be especially immobile in light of the MCL injury. In this Florida offense, you have an offense that cannot run the ball right now. They are relying on the pass to be successful, and this is not your super quick get rid of the ball in 2 seconds every time spread offensive passing attack. No, they will hold on to a bit longer. So, K'Lavon, you got to impact the game. You got the crowd on your side. Silent count for Florida. No snap count for that O-line. And when you get back there, the Gators will turn the ball over. K'Lavon needs to do his best Khalil Mack impression and be looking for that ball every single time.
Star freshman cornerback Derek Stingley Jr. didn't practice on Wednesday, which created some speculation as to whether or not he'd be available for Saturday's game versus Florida. All that was cleared up for Orgeron. Says he's going to be good to go. We were texted with Sting Sr. this morning. All is good for the star freshman, but Orgeron was updating some of the statuses last night of his injuries.
Rashard Lawrence looked good today. Glenn Logan looked good. We're going to see how the week progresses with those guys, but perhaps both of them can play. Obviously, Michael Divinity practiced all week, so he should be able to play. K'Lavon Chaisson is healthy, so we're about as healthy as we've ever been.
Glenn Logan would be a huge get. New Orleans Pelicans last night. Zion Williamson had a game-high 29 as the Pels beat the Bulls 127-125. Williamson had 16 at half and put up 13 more in the third quarter while shooting a combined 12 of 13 from the field. Let's go, man. Nickeil Alexander-Walker had 13 in 19 minutes, including a game-tying three-pointer with under a minute left last night. The Pelicans make their preseason home debut tomorrow night in the Smoothie King Center versus the Utah Jazz. Tip-off is set for 7 o'clock.
Yeah, what a game for the Pels, man. 2-0 in the NBA preseason. I know it is just preseason, but like Jordy pointed out this morning, if you turned on SportsCenter, they kicked it off talking about Zion Williamson and his performance last night. It's unreal. I think the stage that the Pelicans are going to occupy this year. ESPN last night, what do? They have a 20-point-plus comeback victory with Zion. And look, you look at his shot chart, and it's kind of hilarious because literally everything was around the rim, 12 of 13. But these were not easy layups. My man was finishing in a multitude of ways. You saw Levine's quotes after the game. Everybody talking about this kid is the truth. Zion Williamson. What a performance and what a job by this Pelicans team.
One from Zion last night post-game.
Be disciplined on defense. There were a lot of plays where I slipped up on. I know coach is going to show me in film tomorrow. But, I mean, it's, like I said, it's a learning process, and I'm ready to learn.
Lock up. Pels are at home tomorrow night versus the Jazz.
Love you so
The New
much.
Orleans Saints have not allowed a 100-yard rusher in 31 straight games, including the playoffs. That's the longest active streak in the NFL, according to ESPN Stats and Information. Will they be able to hold former LSU and St. Aug standout Leonard Fournette to under 100 yards this weekend in Jacksonville? The former Tiger is third in the NFL right now with 512 rushing yards after busting loose for 225 versus Denver 2 weeks ago and had over 100 last week. New Orleans is in Jacksonville this Sunday at noon for a noon start, as we said. 10 o'clock pregame for you on Eagle 98.1. Cool soundbite from Teddy Bridgewater, who's a Saints starter now in place of Drew Brees, who is out with the injured thumb. Bridgewater rides his bike to every home game. Here he is talking about the city.
I had no idea that it was a big deal. But, I mean, if anyone wants to ride a bike with me, I'm open to it, But I enjoy my little ride to the stadium, in front of the stadium, and it's been a peaceful ride. So I'm open to people riding with me, though.
You're not worried about New Orleans streets and potholes?
I'm more so worried about my car than my bike, but no, I'm not worried at all.
Did you see Teddy go to the bar after last game?
Yeah.
I don't know what bar he stopped at. Just it had that great New Orleans dive feel. But everybody, I mean, chanting Teddy, it's a love affair.
Man.
Also, I've never known why, but I always used to see in the city people with these crazy bikes with all kind of lights and music popping up. I wonder if Teddy gets like a little escort, like a little bike brigade on the way to the game from here on out.
Saints on the road the next 2 weeks in Jacksonville this Sunday in Soldier Field on October 20th before making the return trip to the Dome versus the Cardinals on October 27th.
Fun, a fun story coming out of the Saints locker room. So everybody loves Gardner Minshew right now, and rightfully so. What he's doing is spectacular. Gardner Minshew is from Brandon High School out of Mississippi. You know who else is from Brandon High School? Demario Davis. How about it? This small school, Demario Davis, so much school pride, he actually has a picture of Minshew hanging in his locker right now. And this is not like I want to kill him. He loves the kid. He's putting it on for the hometown. Unfortunately, on Sunday, he probably will be trying to kill him. It's time for the hunt.
Major League Baseball, St. Louis became the first team to score 10 runs in the first inning of a postseason game en route to a 13-1 win. Anybody located Paul O'Neill and Jacob Hester? They doing all right after that? That was a beatdown yesterday.
It was a tough day for Paul yesterday around 4 o'clock.
It was a tough day for Musso trying to prove that he knows anything about baseball as well. Asked him who he thought would win yesterday. He said chalk across the board.
Doesn't look good for our Houston boys.
Ooh, you got one more chance, Musso.
St. Louis advances to the NL Championship where they'll face the Washington Nationals, who beat the LA Dodgers 7-3 in 10 innings last night. Howie Kendrick hit a tie-breaking grand slam in the 10th, and the Nationals boosted a rally past Clayton Kershaw and the Dodgers to advance to the championship series. Today, Houston hosts Tampa Bay in a closeout game with a trip to the ALCS to face the Yankees on the line. 6 p.m. start over there in Minute Maid.
If you buy tickets to that Braves game, are you leaving once it's 10-0?
I'd have left before the inning actually let out. I'd have probably left at 8-7 or 8-0.
That's the cutoff. I agree. I feel like 6 you can stick around. Once you're getting above 6, once you're getting north,
I'm out, man.
I'm going home. I'm
You paid
angry.
what?
I'm going home.
College football last night, Louisiana Lafayette fell to App State 17-7 over there in Cajun country. And tonight, NFL, the New York Giants, old Danny Boy, in Foxborough taking on New England. Patriots are favored by 17 in this one. Those are your headlines. What's trending here on Off the Bench?
It will be kind of interesting to look at Daniel Jones against what the Patriots defense is odd because they're obviously very good, but they've also played maybe the worst collection of offenses in the entire NFL. And look, let's be clear, I don't think Daniel Jones is necessarily going to change that, but I am intrigued to see what he does against one of the better defenses in the league.